Water. What's up, everybody? What's up? Wanted to get this in real quick before other things transpire. Man, so to update y'all on the app, the Natural Woman Magazine app, I hope you guys have downloaded it. If you have an Android, the app is in the iPhone store, but they haven't released it. It's still under review. Like I check my app store account, app developer account on iTunes every hour, waiting for them to say that it's out of review. I don't know why it's taking so long, but just being patient. So please, thank you guys for being patient with us. All the iPhone users who want to check out the app, it will be available very, very soon. It is in the iTunes store right now. They're just reviewing it. Hopefully I will get hopefully we'll get the notification today that everybody can go download it on iPhone. But if you got it on the Google Play Store, thank you so much for downloading. We hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of great things on there. And thank you so much for your support, because, you know, the app really makes the whole idea and the vision of Natural Woman Magazine make sense. So we really do appreciate all of your support. So I wanted to talk about this RKelly situation. Like, I knew this was going to be a biggie. I knew that this whole situation was leading up to it. Like, as y'all already know, I did the interview with Asante McGee. She was one of RKelly's ex-girlfriends. I think she's going to appear in the documentary series tonight. So she's going to appear on tonight's episode, Asante McGee. And she's the woman I interviewed. And she shared just some details of her experience with being with RKelly, and you know, was talking to me about promoting her book, where she just shares how, you know, basically how she attracted her situation with RKelly through her life of abuse and her healing. And so I thought it was super cool for them to reach out to put her on the Natural Woman Magazine platform, her publicist. And like, to be honest, that was not planned, y'all. Like, I knew they were doing the RKelly documentary. I knew I was going to watch it, but I was not expecting to be able to interview one of the women close to him that's been in a relationship with him and can give us some inside details on what is going on. So that was like, so I was like, yo, that was really, really off the chain. Like, she said some crazy stuff. And it's crazy because I loved RKelly. Like, I loved RKelly music. I was a big RKelly fan. And like, after seeing this story and looking at the responses from everybody, so many questions pop up in my mind, like so many different things. Like, first off rip, it is very clear that RKelly has some demons that he needs to deal with, that he has not dealt with, and out of control. And crazy. Like, you know, he is a victim of molestation and abuse, and, you know, things that are common in our communities as Black people, which is really sad. You know, so in a way, I can't look at, well, in a way, yeah, he has to own up to his actions, and what he's doing is not right. But on the flip side, the brother seriously needs some help. Seriously needs some help. Peace, what's up, y'all? He definitely needs some help. Yeah, man, what's up, Queen Katita? Yes, it's so crazy. And so I definitely see he definitely need help. The second thing is the responses. It was so much like backlash, like, that I don't understand. Like, when it comes to women speaking out about abuse, especially when it's against a guy that everybody likes. Why do you automatically want to say that the women are lying or they're just trying to make some stuff up? Like, if he did these things to these women, they have a right to share and express and heal, because these things are traumatic and these things happen in our community so often. These aren't the only women being abused by some man. A lot of these men are abusing women and aren't even R&B singers or rappers, just regular dudes, you know, and it's coming from a state of mental illness. It's coming from a state of some type of trauma. You know, most men who become super abusive, and I can't, you know, just knowing traits, a lot of them are molested. A lot of them are bullied. Like, that's how this vicious cycle continues. The victim becomes the abuser. Sometimes in situations, and it's very, very clear. And it just really disturbs me how so many of our people want to turn our backs. And then I look at it and I'm like, I'm not surprised, because that's the thing with the Black community. When inappropriate shit happens, we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to address it. We ignore it like it didn't happen. Like, I have definitely been in situations family-wise where family members have been abused by another family member, and seeing grandmas knowing this information and not doing anything about it, not getting on that person, just ignoring it. So many people deal with that all the time. Like, we don't want to talk about it. How many of y'all know somebody that's in a relationship right now getting her ass beat, where you feel and know that something is not right and you do not say anything? We don't even protect ourselves. Because, I say that because it's a lot of people that want to say, oh, those girls are stupid. Their parents shouldn't have let them do that. His entourage was bringing girls to him. Not one person said, yo, bro, what is you doing? They just did it. And they thought it was okay. Like, seriously, something is wrong. How are you, a grown man on some 14, 13-year-olds? And this is rampant in our community. This is going on right now to this day. And because we don't want to talk to our children about sex, because we don't feel comfortable teaching them about their private parts, teaching them how sacred they are, teaching them how to be able to talk to you when someone touches you, because we don't build these bonds anymore, our children suffer and things like this happen. At one point, RKelly was a victim as a child. Some man was molesting him from the time he was 7 years old to he was 13 years old. And then doing the same to his brother. It's a lot of boys going through that or have gone through that. A lot of girls that go through that and have gone through that. And a lot of times they tried to reach out for help or tried to say anything to somebody, and people ignore it because you don't know what to do with. Like, when you hear some stuff like that, when you hear that, if you hear like, yo, my daughter, some man tried to molest my daughter, like, what do you do? Like, some of us are in shock. Some of us are scared. Or if you find out that your child is the one that did it to somebody else, like, how do you handle that? Like, we need to start creating forums and discussions and talks so we can know how to deal with these situations to get them to stop. Like, seriously. There's no way that man should have abused over 50 women. Girls he damaged as early as 17 and 16. Like, don't you understand what trauma does if you don't heal properly from that? And nobody didn't say anything. It took the Me Too movement and Lifetime. And this niggas out here mad talking about we tearing down the Black man because we letting Lifetime expose this damn secrets. All of our secrets need to be exposed when it comes to this shit, because it's still going on today. And we want to stay out of everybody's business. We want to stay out of it. I don't want to. I'm a thing, my business. But you got to understand how these behaviors are generational And unless we do something right now to stop it, to address it, to check it, it's going to continue. And we're going to continue to have the same issues we have. I'm going to read some questions. Kasita, you said because it's not their children and some would still sweep it if it was. Yeah, I know some people that have had situations happen where their children were either abused sexually or did the abusing, and because they don't know how to deal with it and because they don't want to get help, because Black people got a stigma when it comes to getting mental help, when all of us at some point or time have dealt with mental illness. You know, we don't want to get help, so we just address it, tell that person not to do it, make them feel ashamed, you know, and feel bad and feel guilty. And all it does is just, they're going to keep doing it if you don't get the help that they need, you know. So we can't, like, I think a lot of parents sweep it under the rug because they don't know how to deal with it. Because they all, you know, because grandma swept it under the rug because she knew, you know, Uncle Wilbert was fucking with them little kids, but she didn't want to believe it because that was her baby, her youngest son, who ain't never left the house. You know, we have dealt with that for generations. You don't want to believe that. You feel ashamed. And it's like the women be protecting them. You be protecting the abusers and they need help. And taking them to the preacher ain't going to help them, because a lot of times the preacher just probably starting it. You feel me? Like, for real. For real. Honorable, okay. You said facts, sexual abuse is rampant and generational. Hurt people. It's shows in society and men and women in trauma, right? So you said Jocelyn refuses to even leave, and they say one girl returned after being rescued. Yeah. What's up, Jason Richard? You said exactly, sis. What's up, Jesse? You said till this day in my Deontay Walker voice. You said, and his father was a preacher, so you know how that goes, sweeping them up. Yeah, sweeping. They gonna ignore it. They gonna let Jesus deal with it. Y'all know Jesus ain't coming back. Like, shoot, if Jesus was coming back, he should have been back. Like, Trump is president now, like, and Jesus is not back, so y'all should just get that up. He's a modern day Bill Cosby, but people won't even believe it about him. Yo, yeah, it's like, it's sad. Like, it's really sad. I just thought it was crazy. I used to be a great RKelly fan, and now it's kind of like he was throwing it in our face in a way too when you look at the music. And you know, all this stuff is still alleged. It's still alleged. He's still denying and saying, no, I did not do this. I did not do this. But like, when I interviewed Asante, and like, I'm a good judge of character, I feel like I believe that, you know, I could tell when somebody perping to me, you know, and I do my research. I watch other interviews and stuff, and her stories stay content. But I don't believe she was making this up. You know, I don't believe she just made this up for the sake of, you know, trying to get rich. Now, I know her sharing her story is going to bring profit to her, and I don't think nothing is wrong with that, because we all have a right to use what we have to create income. And sharing her story, you know, her way of doing it is, you know, her mission is to talk to younger girls, to help younger girls not fall into these traps. Because one of the reasons why he had so many women, young girls, is because the idea of being with a star, being with a R&B king, a legend, you know, him, the possibility of him giving you your big break and making you a star, like that thing right there that he dangles, it ain't brought nobody and made nobody a star. It just took sex and abused them and, you know, controlled them. It's crazy. He said, what do you say about women who say them girls knew that what they was doing, yet they're dismissing the fact that that's an adult preyed on a child? Exactly. Then see, that's the one thing that protects RKelly, is because I feel like everything was consensual. Everybody did the acts that they did, even though they did not want to, they did it anyways. And I do want to address that, and I'm gonna address that right now. We need to start teaching women to feel themselves worthy. A lot of the women were afraid to say no because they didn't want to mess something up or lose something. Like, we got to start teaching our girls to listen to their intuition. We got to start teaching them to listen to their inner self, listen to their gut, listen to that voice, you know, build that relationship up, because your inner self, your higher self is going to stop you. It's going to warn you before you fuck up. And all of them, I guarantee, had that thing like, oh, like this is crazy, but they did it anyways. And so, yeah, they made the choice to do it. That still doesn't change the fact that it was trauma, because they wasn't honoring themselves. We got to teach our girls and our boys to honor themselves. Do not, like, if you feel in your gut that I shouldn't do this right now, I want to say no, then listen to that. Listen to that. Like, those were girls. You know, they were young girls. They knew better. But RKelly still did what he did. You know, he still manipulated. So I'm like, is nobody right in this situation, and nobody is wrong. I believe nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. I feel like this situation is a situation that needs to be just addressed. I think it's a great conversation starter for us to really talk about as a community. Because a lot of us, what do you do if you find out your child is being molested by somebody you trusted, or been abused? Or if you find out your daughter's boyfriend is beating her ass, or your son got molested by somebody, you know, or you find out somebody you love is in an abusive relationship. How do you handle that? What do you do? What resources do we have to give them? Because you can't just pray shit away. We've been trying to pray shit away for a long time as Black people. Like, I don't get it. Reading questions. You said it's generational trauma. The abuse now abuse others throughout life. This is a traditional family secret. Women are molesters too. Yep, women are molesters. I know plenty of men who have been molested by older women. You know, and the thing is, I think that, like, the molestation thing, like, when it's really messed up when children get exposed to sex before truly understanding what it is. You know, and it messes a lot of people up, because there's some people who will hear young boys get molested by women and feel like that won't be traumatic for him. Yes, that's going to be traumatic for him. Just like it is traumatic for the girl who's molested by some man. You know, you said some men get molested by their mothers. Yep, I believe that. He said I can email a PDF, but they got it on lock on the internet. About to post it up. Okay. He said, and the fact that it was Black women or ethnic, this happened for some long and celebrity strengths reason industry and media didn't report on it. Right. Because it was RKelly. They didn't have a voice. And then a lot of times, a lot of people didn't care. Because it was Black women. We're already sexualized. Look at how many Black women are on Twitter right now twerking. Just selling themselves. They look at this piece of meat anyways. Like, we don't matter. We got to start mattering for ourselves. You know, but a lot of times people are going to treat us the way we treat ourselves. We sweep like this. We sweep this shit under the rug. We sweep it under the rug when this happens in our community. Because you don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to address it. He said the industry protects. Hey, what's up, Joe? Industry protects wealthy pedophiles, especially trafficking Black women. And you said, yes, it does mess them up. Should those girls take responsibility? I think they should at 16. You know what you're doing. Exactly. They knew what they're doing. And that's why I said we got to start teaching our girls to trust themselves and love themselves enough to know that if you don't feel right about because I don't believe he raped any of these girls. I think all these girls were down for it, even though if they didn't want it. I believe he did manipulate them into wanting to do it. And like getting them to want to do it and opening up to do it. But they all made that conscious decision to do it. And a lot of the times they made that conscious decision to do it knowing deep inside they didn't want to do it. And they didn't honor themselves. And they did it anyways. And so anytime when you don't honor yourself, you're going to pay the consequences. That's why that your intuition pops up to tell you, oh, I don't think this should happen. And we got to start teaching our children. And teaching and doing ourselves, we got to start listening to ourselves, listening to that inner voice, that quiet voice that's telling you when you know better. Seriously, when you know better. When you start seeing some stuff crazy, and if you ain't with that, Like in that interview with old girl, when she said, if y'all heard that interview I did, when she said RKelly took her into that room after they done had a little threesome, and he went to the drawer and pulled out a dildo, that would have been it for me. Like, oh, hell no. And that's what it was for her when she seen it. She ain't listened to herself. She was already in too deep. Like, like seriously. I am so seriously. It's crazy. He said, yes, black booty matters too. I'm petty, but I'm serious. Right. We do matter. And we got to start mattering to ourselves. You know, we got to start mattering to ourselves and, you know, stop putting ourselves in a position to be like this. Because like I said, RKelly's different from Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby was, you know, drugging women, you know, against their will and having sex with them. All these women consented to RKelly. All of them signed non-disclosures. You know, he protected his tracks, basically. So I doubt he'll ever get any jail time. But, and at this point, I don't even believe he needs jail time. He needs therapy. He needs some help. The brother got a problem. He got a problem. And for real, as fans, we gotta shoot. I like his music too. It's hard for me to listen to it. But you can make and do, just because you do some great things, sometimes that, you know, you can't let that shadow who you are, the true person. You know, because all of us wear masks. RKelly is the mask of Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly is the man that has done these things to these women. Robert Kelly is the man that needs help. And Robert Kelly uses the persona of RKelly to bring people his way. Like, why else would you name yourself the Pied Piper of R&B? Because every time he does something, he comes out with an album and we forget that shit. Step in the Name of Love, goddammit. Feeling on my booty, goddammit. Oh, RKelly did that. Oh, he made I Believe I Can Fly. He couldn't have molested them girls. Like, just blinding us in the whole time. Crazy. Like, so serious. I seen molestation affects men. Yeah. I did an interview with Dr. Umar Johnson. And yeah, I know what y'all gonna say about Dr. Umar Johnson. Blah, blah, blah. But the brother is still intelligent. He still got knowledge. And me and him did a interview specifically on homosexuality in our communities, because I have no issues against anybody that's homosexual. I have homosexual friends. And if you choose that preference, that is you. That's not my route. But you do notice the high, like, it's more, I don't know if it's because people are more open now, but it's rising in our communities. And that leads me to question what's really happening with that. Why is that happening? And so me and him had a good interview talking about that. It's really, really deep. But he basically said, when it comes to the effects of molestation, every sexual experience that we experience, it kind of like it imprints in our brain. So whatever your first sexual experience is, as whenever you experience anything sexual, that's going to build impressions on your brains to teach your brain that's what sex is and that's what you're going to like. So a lot of boys who are molested by other men growing up, and those are their first sexual experiences, 9 times out of 10, they're going to like having sexual experiences with men. You know, and even when they feel like it's wrong, like, because it programs the brain. All right. So I thought that was really, really dope. That interview, did that back in 2015. I think I still have the audio to that interview. So I may release that and just put that on the app so y'all can check it out, because that was really, really deep. Leslie Gordon said you were lit. That's what's up. You said, oh, RKelly did drug. I didn't hear that. I did not drug. Well, he drugged, and damn, there you have it. He said he took advantage of them. They were 16, but they were taken advantage of. He will walk past a Melissa floor and go towards a girl he is sick and deserves jail. Yeah, because ain't no woman like me gonna put up with no shit like that. Like, you ain't about to control me or tell me what to do or just take over everything in my life. Like, I don't exist. Like, I am important and I know my worth. And that's what we have to tell. That's what we have to start teaching our girls. That's what we have to start teaching our boys, to know their worth, to honor themselves and to honor each other. And when some fuck shit go on, tell somebody. And when the fuck shit go on, when you know about it, somebody need to be whooping somebody's ass. Because I guarantee, if we start protecting each other and loving each other, when we find out that these little girls get molested by somebody in our family, niggas need to be on their ass. And they need to go get some help. Because this trauma is being imprinted in their brain. This is causing drama. This is causing issues within these people's lives that is really hard to heal from. It's really hard to heal from. And there's like so many things that we can do to prevent it. It's so many things that we can do to protect ourselves. And we got to be able to do that. We got to be able to do it. We can't keep sweeping this under the rug. And the people who have been molested and you're grown and it's over and that person is gone, like, you need to get your healing in, do the work, find support groups, find people that you can talk to. But we got to start doing things that we can. Start paying attention to your children, know the signs, and protect your children. And don't leave your children with just anybody. Because a lot of these parents probably felt or knew something was going on while they teenager kids was hanging out with RKelly. Like, why the hell these teenage girls hanging out with RKelly? And he paying people off with money. Like, come on now. It makes it all right. Like, I don't get it, man. And then I don't get people in the community that want to brush this off and make fun of this trauma. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. There's no way this should be going on in our community. This is a reflection of us. It is. Hey, like, listen to all the Negro songs. He's been telling us the whole time. And yes, I know none of these girls are related to us. None of these girls are like our cousins or our friends, but there are some girls, there are some guys related to us that have gone through the same situations. And a lot of them feel so trapped that they can't tell nobody. They can't speak out. You know, start being a way out. Really understanding abuse is real and abuse is happening every day in so many ways. And I'm going to tell you, because I have been... I always say this story, and I ain't trying to just be extra, but I was in an abusive relationship on 3 weeks or 3 months. I can't remember. It's crazy now. I was 18, and now I'm really feeling how old I am now. But it was a short period of time, but I was finally able to understand the cycle that happens, the train of thought of what happens and how women could get trapped in that type of lifestyle and not find a way out. Because a lot of people on the outside looking in will be like, oh, those girls are stupid. They know better. Just leave. When you're in that mental trap, when somebody has broken your self-esteem down and made you feel like you're not shit, and if you don't have no self-love or self left, sometimes it's hard to find the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, sometimes it can be really, really hard. And so we have to really be serious about our self-work, our self-love, this type of stuff, you know, and checking stuff that ain't right. You know, build better relationships with your children. Talk to them. Make sure your children know that if anybody ever tried to step to them in any inappropriate way, that they feel comfortable enough to tell you. And they feel comfortable enough to be able to tell you because they believe that you will protect them because you are their parent. A lot of time, kids don't feel comfortable with telling their parents because they don't feel like their parents are going to protect them enough. You don't want your child to feel like that. Make sure your child knows that you would do anything for them and that if anybody touched them, you need to tell them immediately. And then teach them how to protect them. Teach them how to protect themselves. So when somebody does try to come at them crazy, they know what to do to protect themselves. And then we need to point out the people, the sick people that are doing this shit in our communities. And we need to make sure they get the proper help they need so they can stop or be sent away somewhere to protect our babies, to protect our women, and protect our men. Because it's gone on too long. Like literally all those men talking about RKelly, all his old security guards, managers, and all that kind of stuff, they saw what was happening. And ain't nobody say nothing. And the people who didn't like it or felt uncomfortable about it, they just stayed away. But ain't say nothing. And now they saying something because they got guilt, because they feel bad, because they like, oh, damn, we done helped this brother do this shit. It don't make sense. This is the result of an abusive rape culture accepted in society. So, you know what? You know why? You know what? I'm going to tell y'all why. This is the reason why Black people accept this shit and let this shit go on, and we don't address it and we sweep it under the rug. Because we have spent, about 400 or 500 years being enslaved and watching Europeans do fuck up shit all over to us, like rape our men, rape our women. You know, we have been subjected to so much abuse traumatically through slavery that when it comes to this stuff, we do it to ourselves. And we just don't say nothing. That don't make sense. Like, that's where that stem from. That's where that come from. Because we wasn't able to step up and protect each other. You know, so, and all that is generational. Like, that's like transmuted through DNA. And the only way that we can reverse that and stop that is by simply checking it within ourselves and stopping that curse. When you see some fuck shit happening, you need to say something. You need to get somebody some help. Don't sit there and act like you didn't see it. It don't make sense. He said yes because he was molested by folks in his family. Yep, exactly. The victims become the abusers. That is common. And most people who are molested and abused as children, they end up becoming the abusers because they felt nobody protected them from being abused. Yep, everybody knew. Everybody knew RKelly was doing that shit. Everybody, they let it happen. They was bringing them girls. Like, I got so much juice on this story, like inside details, because I have spoke with 2 of the women that have been in the cult. Not call it the cult, but just have been with him. One of the girls, we just sent a few messages on DM because I saw her on a YouTube channel doing an interview about her experience with RKelly, because she lived in the house with him, and she shared some detailed stuff, even shared about how one of his roadies, I can't think of the guy's name, I cannot think of his name, but how he would be the one to go bring the girls to him, but he was also one of RKelly's sexual partners as well. Like, he would come and do oral sex on RKelly in front of the girls, and he'll record all this stuff. Like, so it was a bunch of crazy shit. And then y'all saw the interview, or heard the interview I did with Asante McGee, and she just shared her experiences. And it was crazy because I'm like, there's so many more questions I could have asked. But y'all can definitely get all the juice in her new book, you know, and support. Like, people looking at these women like, oh, they just coming out now because they trying to make some money. What? Y'all sound stupid for saying that. Shit, everybody has a right to a secure bag with what you got. As long as they ain't lying and it's their truth and it's something that they have and they can make money off of it, by all means, feed your family. Do it. I hope this allows a lot of us to be in complete honest with ourselves. Growing up, it was cool for younger girls to be with older guys. As a kid, I would see this at the skating rinks in the mall. Yeah. Yes. I remember being like 10th grade, our homecoming dance. It was dudes who had just graduated like 2 years ago, 18, 19. You know, if I was like, when I was 16, like, they was cool with it. If I was 16 years old, they was cool with getting my number and talking to me after knowing my age. So that's something that's very common, but we got to start checking. And then there's people that want to say, well, back in the old days, you know, because, you know, girls married as young as 13 and 12. Yeah. that's not the days now. You know, that you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just a lot. I don't like the manipulation, and I don't like the abuse. And I think that I'm glad that this story comes out. Not just the stuff of what R. Kelly did, but also how he was raised. He was molested too. He was a victim too. And my thing is, things like this wouldn't happen. Like, if somebody would have helped R. Kelly when he was a kid. Just think about that. If somebody would have found out, or if he did tell somebody that he was molested as a kid and got him to help, checked his abuser and stopped it, his brother probably wouldn't have been molested either, because his brother was molested. His younger brother was molested too, probably by the same person molesting R. Kelly. But they would probably be different people now and not have created so many other victims. You know, so we got to start being more, you know, being on it. Not letting that stuff slide. Knowing who's around your kids and knowing who your kids' friends are. Because it can be kids doing the abusing, not even adults. It can be kids the same age as your children doing the abuse. And so you got to be on your children and teach them. And a lot of times those kids do that. Those kids will do it because it was done to them. You know? Deep. Right? Even back then, I knew that shit was foul. So was he molested by men and women? I didn't see the interview. I think it was by men. It was a lot. Some folks are saying it was his sister. But I remember reading it. There was an older guy in the neighborhood. Yeah, I think it was men, because they didn't specify who did it in the documentary. But I know just from the, you know, he did that song. He did that song, that 20-minute song. That was kind of like his deflect mode, where he's like, okay, I'm going to say everything so y'all know the reason why I'm fucked up. Like, okay, if you know that's why you fucked up, then why you ain't got no help? Like, that's not the excuse. Stop using your trauma and your past and your pain as a reason to rain havoc on somebody else's life. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. He said Aaliyah's family now owns part of R. Kelly's music publishing. I think R. Kelly traded that in a non-disclosure agreement. I believe that the family sold over. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't know that. And, you know, that was crazy with the R. Kelly situation and Aaliyah. Like, now, I believe that to be true. Like, I believe I'm a good judge of, like, knowing when some stuff ain't right or when it do sound right. Like, when I watched the Bobby Brown story, even though Whitney Houston was dead, I don't think Bobby Brown was really exaggerating on how Whitney was. Like, I really felt that. And the same is with this Aaliyah thing. This is already coming out. And some people were like, oh, they need to leave Aaliyah alone. They need to leave Aaliyah alone. Like, no. That should have been came out. Because all of us thought about it back then. Like for fucking a 14-year-old and you 21 years old. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, y'all. So I think part 2 of the documentary comes out tonight. I hope you guys check out my interview if you haven't already. It is on my pages. It's also on my YouTube video. And if you download the Natural Woman Magazine app, it is on the app as well. I hope the app is in the iPhone store today, y'all. Please check daily. I'm going to be checking. Like, we're just waiting on them to release it. And so I'm just being patient. But it is in the Google store. So make sure y'all definitely check that out. Super excited about the app. It has the R. Kelly story. But yeah, I feel like as a community, we need to do better. We need to love each other more. And, you know, we need to protect each other. We need to check this shit. Because it don't make sense. Like, it does not make any sense. And we need to start believing the abusers and not make the victims of abuse feel bad. Even if they consented in activity that they consented to, but they didn't feel comfortable with. Because you got to understand, even though they said yes to it, they were forced into saying it. you know, because people use that power. Like they said, RKelly would make it seem like, oh, if you didn't do anything I wanted to do, you know, he'll be mad at him. They didn't want to make him mad, so they just wanted to do what he said to keep him happy, because he was dangling this piece of gold of saying, oh, I'm gonna make you a star, you're gonna be a singer, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know. All right, y'all, make sure y'all download that Natural Woman Magazine app. Natural Woman Magazine. I'll do way more lives in the app, like for real, for real. A lot of videos in there. Some cooking stuff that we do, all the trips that we go on, interviews, stuff that you're not going to find on YouTube or nowhere else. It's all in the app. And we got some juicy stuff coming up. I can tell y'all now that we got Soleil for the cover of our February issue that's dropping February 1st. Yes, your girl been working. We got covers solidified. I got some stuff for y'all. We Natural Woman team, we doing our thug thizzle. So Soleil is on the cover. She gave a dope interview on bringing this goddess energy in and how she's doing that. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Download the app. Keep following on social media. And let's keep the conversation going. We need to be able to stop this from happening in our communities. But I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace out.